He's the comedian best known for classics like The Fast Show and more recently Mortimer and Whitehouse Gone Fishing, and she's an academic and doctor of philosophy. Here to tell us about working together for the first time, it is Paul Whitehouse and Dr. Mine Conkbayir.
That's all right.
Oh, nice to meet you. Yeah.
You've been so excited about these two coming in,
I have been
haven't you?
so excited because I was lucky enough a few weeks ago to be asked to take part in the podcast, which I did. I loved it. It was almost impossible to be serious for long because, of course, of Paul Whitehouse and because of the two of them and their relationship. But the podcast is called I'm ADHD... ... No, you're not. Now, one might think, Paul, that you didn't believe in ADHD, but that's actually not the case at all.
No, it's not. There's such a prevalence, isn't there, of ADHD? It's everywhere now, or so it seems. And I think we wanted to explode the myth that it's some kind of badge of honour. Because I've noticed it creeping in even to... I play this word game on my phone, and there's an advert that pops up every now and then and says, you can only do this if you're ADHD. Like,
oh, I've seen those, yeah.
And it's just like... There was another one that says you can only do this if you're a psychopath. Luckily, I'm both. So I'm brilliant at both of them. But no, but it just seems ridiculous. And
yeah.
Minna was diagnosed with ADHD, what, about a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that diagnosis come about, then, at, like, this point in your life?
I don't actually recall that's ADHD in action, I suppose. But I'm in therapy anyway for childhood trauma, but I just felt like there was something unaddressed in me and my behaviours that didn't make sense. So, it was my therapist that suggested.
It's a right laugh in our house.
But actually, I was fascinated by that because I wondered, you know, being the academic you are, why it took so long to get the actual diagnosis.
Because it's always been diagnosed as complex trauma.
And this is something you... Sorry, Gloria, but this is something you wanted to pick up on, isn't it? Because in women, ADHD is often overlooked, and girls, it's overlooked.
All of our female guests were misdiagnosed with anxiety and depression from childhood into adulthood.
Not from childhood, but it was certainly... And it was misdiagnosed, but also women mask more, don't they?
Absolutely.
That's why we always think of it as the sort of the young naughty boy at school who's jumping on the chairs and everything, and, of course, it's not that at all. I learnt such a lot, though, about myself doing the podcast. I also learnt about this incredible relationship you have. And if I may touch briefly on an example of their relationship we call Chipgate, OK? and it was basically where you went on a beach, you'd taken some chips to your family, Paul and your daughter didn't want them, and that sent you into a 3-day spiral.
It did.
So what happened?
Like I say, it's a right laugh in our house.
We're inside.
No thanks, darling, I don't want the chips.
Yeah, that is pretty much what happened. I felt rejected and it triggered something in me called RSD, which is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which is common among ADHDers, and we are known to overreact to something that you really shouldn't get upset about, but we do very quickly. We spiral, and I made myself physically sick, and I disappeared for pretty much 2 days.
Wow.
It was awful.
You said earlier it was due to trauma. What kind of trauma do you think?
My early childhood trauma, I've been told I can't speak about, but it wasn't a very pleasant childhood. So the key thing here is that early childhood trauma, the symptoms can be very similar to the symptoms of ADHD. So I had my lifetime going along with that diagnosis, and that explained a lot.
Did that, when you finally... Sorry, Denzi. Right. Does this play into why you both live in separate houses, which I found utterly fascinating?
It sounds great.
I know. It's very funny, because every single married person, you go...
Tell us.
I love it.
So talk to us, how does it work?
It works brilliantly. I don't want anyone in my bed other than my little Pomeranian puppy. I'm very happy that way. And we're very different in terms of sensory stimulation as well. So I need the lights on, I need noise, I'll have the TV on. And he's the opposite. A normal person, you know, neurotypical, he wants the lights off. He doesn't want the TV on in bedtime, but I can't relax unless
And how many
I've got
miles
something
apart
going on.
are you?
Oh,
Not
less
far
than a mile. Only round the corner, you know.
Yeah.
Paul, do you think that because you are, in my opinion, one of the nation's funniest men... You know, sorry.
The
nation's funniest man. And do you think that ability to laugh at life and see it through a different lens has attributed the success of your 20-year relationship with Minna?
Well, if I didn't laugh, I'd be in tears.
He would be, it's true.
No, I'm joking. Or am I? Yeah, possibly. You know, I don't know. I'm quite a sort of easygoing person, I think.
And that
Denise.
mellows me out. It's a good yin and yang, to be honest,
Yeah.
because I am so emotionally intense, overanalyse everything. He's like, just chill.
Yeah, you're not dissimilar, I think, the dynamic between me and Brad. My
do you think?
also, yeah, he's very relaxed and has a good sense of humour, and I'm a little bit harder to handle.
But Minna, before you
really?
became a doctor of philosophy, you were training with Arsenal. You were going to be a footballer, is that right?
Yeah, I was training with the girls, played at uni for different teams, yeah, and it was the one time in my life my mum put her foot down. No, not football, no, you must study. I was like, all right then. But I loved it anyway, and because I was seeing an education welfare officer and a therapist at school for the stuff I was going through, I remember it very clearly. I was going back into the lessons after lunchtime and I put my hand on the door and I was just chatting to my education welfare officer. He used to take me to football matches and training as well. And I thought, oh, my God, I want to teach. And that was it for me, actually. I wanted to give something back.
Yeah.
And I've worked with the most disadvantaged groups in
And by doing the
central
podcast,
London.
you are still giving back, because as Denise said, you learned lots about yourself by doing it. And I
It's
think people...
cathartic.
They've had Gemma
also-
Stiles on as well, and she turned
Yeah.
up with Harry.
Yeah.
But also
He
see the
did.
dynamic...
This tattooed bloke jumped out the cab and I thought, that's Harry Styles, isn't it? And it was.
Yeah, lovely, lovely.
Wasn't he? Look, there he is. Look.
There he is.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see the dynamics of your relationship. And later on in the show, we're going to be talking about hand-holding. Are you both... Do you hold hands walking down
He
the street?
hates it. He's turned me
Really?
against it. Yeah, I used to love holding
why do you
hands.
not
Public
like it?
displays of affection.
Yeah, but it's not kissing, it's holding hands.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not 3, do you know what I mean?
So everyone needs that human
I tell you what, though,
connection.
I don't mind a hug.
So Minna's allowed to
hugs
hug
all
you in
right.
public?
I don't
I don't mind a hug. Anyone can
I saw
hug
you
me.
kissing a fish last night.
See?
I did not kiss a fish.
You did.
Oh, so you'll kiss
loved
the
that.
fish in public, but not Minna.
Yeah, it's
I'll
all
have a
coming out
conversation
now.
about that.
He'll kiss a minnow, but not Minna.
The king is dead, long live the queen.
There you go. She'll write you some stuff if
Yeah.
you're like struggling. Ladies
Brilliant.
and gentlemen, Minna and Paul. Give them a huge Thank you. That was brilliant.